The Emergency Management Committee of Cabinet met earlier today. In response to the escalating number of infections, Dr. Hinshaw and her team have recommended new measures on social distancing to contain the spread of the virus, and the government has accepted those recommendations. These include the immediate cancellation of all K-12 and post-secondary classes, as well as closure of licensed childcare and out-of-school care programs in Alberta. More restrictions may be rolled out over coming days as officials' advice evolves in response to the identification of new cases, so please keep checking for the latest public health directives online at alberta.ca.
In addition, another development over the past 2 days has been conversations that I have been invited to participate in with school leaders from across the province. I have heard clearly from them that the guidance provided by health is proving extremely difficult to put into practice at the front lines due to product shortages, challenges with staffing, and other operational issues. I have repeatedly said that we will monitor the situation, assess the emerging evidence, and make decisions accordingly. Based on what we've seen over the last 2 days, it is clear to me that now is the time for additional action. We need to put in place more restrictions to help slow the virus and protect public health. That is why, effective immediately, the Emergency Management Cabinet Committee has approved my recommendation that students no longer attend classes in schools or post-secondary institutions until further notice. All regularly scheduled classes are cancelled, regardless of class size. We are also asking all licensed childcare facilities and out-of-school care programs to close immediately. Approved day homes are exempt due to the small number of children they care for, but they are encouraged to use sanitation practices and the guidance that we released late last week. As a parent with children in the school system and in after-school care programs, I recognize that this is extremely disruptive for many families and for those working in these sectors. This is not a decision that we are making lightly. I made this recommendation after extensive discussion with school boards and in consideration of the cases of community transmission that were identified over the weekend. To be clear, we are not closing schools. Teachers and other school staff should continue to come to their schools to plan potential alternatives for students, particularly those in grade 12. I ask parents to keep their children from gathering in large groups, as the purpose of this recommendation is to prevent the spread of the virus. I know that many parents, childcare workers, and teachers will have a lot of questions. This decision was made only a few hours ago, so many details are being confirmed. We will provide answers and make sure that Albertans get the information they need.
I want to thank the many boards and education partners that have provided their views over the weekend. It has become clear that it would be challenging to implement health recommendations like social distancing and proper cleaning protocols. The safety of our students, teachers, and staff is the #1 priority for all of us, for me and for my cabinet colleagues, for Dr. Hinshaw, and for all school staff. As the Premier stated, we will be indefinitely cancelling classes across the province. Students are expected to stay home. We are all in this together, and everyone agrees this is the right decision. School authorities are expected to continue their regular day-to-day operations and ensure the safety of our school facilities. We expect maintenance, capital projects, cleaning of facilities, and administrative work to continue. Now, I know that student progression will be on the minds of both parents and students. We expect every student to receive a final mark and that students will progress to their next grade level next year. However, provincial assessments, such as provincial achievement tests, will be cancelled as of this time. Diploma exams, essential for post-secondary acceptance, will continue. We are confident that every student who is eligible to graduate from grade 12 this year will graduate. The government will also be working with post-secondary institutions to ensure that these extraordinary circumstances do not prevent our students from being eligible for admission to post-secondary studies for the upcoming school year. Teachers and other school staff will still be expected to work, either from home or at their workplace, to ensure these expectations are met. Decisions on how to do this are still to be made, and it may vary depending on the school jurisdiction. Given the unique situation, my department and I will work with school authorities throughout this process, and school authorities will receive their full allotment of funding for the 2019-2020 school year. I know these are challenging times for everyone. I will be sending out an open letter to parents in the coming days and will be working directly with school authorities to help parents through these changes. I would encourage anyone struggling as a result of this situation to reach out to mental health resources, such as Kids Help Phone at 1-800-668-6868, or the Mental Health Helpline at 1-877-303-2642. We are in unprecedented times, and we all have a role to play to keep our students and the staff that work in our schools safe and healthy. This is and will always be our #1 priority. Thank you.
Dr. Hinshaw informed us that one of the reasons for the change of recommendation on class closures was that there were some children who had recently returned from overseas with their parents who went into the schools, notwithstanding the very clear recommendation not to do that.
With respect to children in particular, again, as you all know, I'm a parent of young children, so I do want to underline that it is challenging, even with the guidance that we provided and trying to have that zero tolerance for ill children in these kinds of settings, that we know that children often are in close contact with each other in ways that adults aren't typically. So we are focusing on children at this time today with these recommendations because this is a particularly high-risk group with respect to spreading virus. And then some of these other recommendations that we've made continue to be evaluated, and if we do need to change them, we will. Because again, the situation evolves rapidly day to day, and so we're making the best decisions we can at each given time and continually evaluating to determine if those recommendations need to be further changed and made more aggressive.
In terms of classes being canceled, that means all classes are canceled for all grade levels, and so we would be requiring that students stay home. No students are to attend school starting tomorrow. As far as the provincial achievement tests, the PATs, all of those will be canceled for the rest of the remainder of this school year. The diploma exams, we will only be providing diploma exams that are essential for grade 12 graduates to be able to meet their post-secondary requirements. But again, this is fluid. As we've heard, we are in unprecedented times, and I will be discussing with Minister Nicolaitis, Minister of Advanced Education, on how we can move forward in this area.
LaGrange. So with classes being canceled indefinitely for students, there may be some concern about how they will be able to keep up once they move on to the next grade level. So are there options for online classes, or what other options may there be?
We will have everything on the table. I'll be working closely with school boards and school divisions to ensure that we have measures in place to address those very concerns. But at this time, it's early days yet. This is unprecedented. So, we've never had a closure of all schools across the whole province at one time for something that could be indefinite for the rest of the remainder of the school year, possibly. So early days yet, but more information to come as we move forward.
We have more information to help them plan at alberta.ca/COVID-19. I know this is a lot of information. These decisions are not made lightly, and I know they will have a tremendous impact on Albertans' lives, particularly parents, children, and seniors. I know some Albertans may wonder if these measures are truly necessary. I want to stress that they are necessary. It is crucial that we do everything possible to contain and limit the spread of COVID-19. The most effective way to do this is by taking a comprehensive, society-wide approach. Not testing alone, not contact tracing alone, not social distancing alone. All of them together.